Do you remember custom skins in TF2 where no matter what server you joined, you can have your weapon look like a whole bunch of other things, pretty much anything you wanted? You could even change the way the classes looked if you wanted to, and you were the only person who could see that version of TF2, and it was really cool and it was really fun. And then Valve just completely removed it. Yeah, well, that sucks, but there were a good couple of reasons behind it, so I want to talk about them a little bit. But before we do that, I just want to remind you guys that a bunch of you watching right now aren't actually subscribed. So if that is you and you watch a bunch of my videos and you're here all the time, you may as well click the button. I'd really appreciate it. It's completely free and it means a lot to me. Anyway, the first reason that I believe Valve have removed custom skins, or not like removed them, but made it so Valve servers didn't actually show custom skins, would be mainly because a lot of the skins gave some people some very unfair advantages. Like you could make a bunch of the weapons in TF2 look completely different to how they would normally, so you can make it much easier to tell, for example, what kind of medigun the opposite medic was running. An example that my sub-only Discord gave to me was basically they'd make a Crits Creek bright green and another medigun a different color and another medigun a different color, so you could tell from pretty much across the map what they were holding in their hands, which you normally wouldn't be able to do. Now, that wouldn't have been a problem really if both medics had the same thing, or like that was a thing that everybody in the game saw, but it wasn't. It was exclusive to your computer, your screen. Your team couldn't see it, the enemies couldn't see it, or anything like that, so it made the whole thing ridiculously unfair. And there was a bunch of these different little examples throughout the whole game where you could change how a certain thing in the game looked to give yourself an advantage over a player who wouldn't install the same skins, or who didn't even know skins existed, so they couldn't install those skins. And I don't want to go and have to download a million different things just to play the game the same way as everybody else is, because they're doing things that are slightly scummy or cheaty. It wasn't fair, so it made sense to change how it worked. I personally thought skins that just changed the appearance of the weapon into another cool looking thing were really nice. Like when people were making CSGO AWP skins and putting them into TF2 on the AWP in this game. Or for example, there was a skin that I showed off in a video where the Prinny Machete got basically a skin that just made it look like a fade knife. I really liked that too. And that kind of stuff doesn't make too much of a difference to the game, or at least I wasn't good enough to notice anything like that back then. But I really enjoyed showcasing a bunch of interesting skins and stuff like that. The videos did really well and they were really fun to make, as well as showcasing some amazing stuff the community had made. It's kind of like the workshop videos I make nowadays. It's like an updated version of skin showcases, sort of, but also kind of not really. The main goal of it is to bring some eyes to the people who are creating awesome things for this game. I have fun looking through it, a lot of people have fun looking at the things that I'm looking at, and then they'll go and vote for those things afterwards, hopefully. So maybe they'll get into the game. But there was one thing that I showed off that I definitely thought would be ridiculously unfair, and that was the large unusual particle effect thing I showed off a few years ago. For those of you who hadn't seen it, it's basically where it makes every unusual effect look like it's been taking steroids for 20 years. They were all huge, they were all way more exaggerated than they used to be, and you could pretty much see them from across any map you were playing. That was one of the first skins that I ever tried out that I actually thought was ridiculously unfair, because as soon as you have an unusual, you're way easier to spot if somebody has this skin equipped. But then it also wouldn't be fair because not everybody in the game has that kind of thing enabled, and not everybody in the game wants their unusual effects to look like that. So if somebody has it and somebody doesn't have it, I guess it's just unfair. Like if somebody does have that skin installed and somebody doesn't, then you're screwed if you don't. So it kind of makes sense that Valve was trying to reduce the amount of unfair advantages players could have. I mean, bots are still in the game, and they literally have computers clicking heads for them. So they're not trying that hard to remove any unfair advantages, but back then I think they were trying a little bit harder. And I also think that the time that this actually happened coincided quite well with the fact that they were bringing out Meteor Match. Now, Meteor Match was meant to be a huge update. It completely changed how you found servers in TF2, and it came out with competitive matchmaking. So from trying to make the game as like vanilla and default as possible for all of these potential new players coming to the game, removing custom skins made complete sense. Imagine this, you're a brand new player who has just installed TF2 and you want to have a look at some YouTube videos to try and understand the game a little bit better and maybe learn about a thing or two that you might not know. Now imagine you click onto some random YouTuber's video and everything that they are looking at looks completely different to what your TF2 screen looks like. That would be really disorientating quite a lot for newer players, and it would also be really confusing because you have no idea why their game looks like that and yours looks completely different. People already ask me way too many questions about hoods. Skins just make it way more complicated. Unless obviously the creator explicitly says they're using a skin, most new players won't know what that is, they'll get confused, and if something confuses them way too much in a brand new game, the chance that they keep playing isn't as high. And Meteor Match bringing out competitive matchmaking, they wanted a whole bunch of new players to join, and they wanted a whole bunch of players to stay. So removing skins and stuff like that made it way easier. I do think certain skins were quite good though, like the ones that let you make objectives completely blank. I wish there was just a way to do that in the regular game, but because people pay for the decal tools, Valve won't give you a way to disable them in game because they're making money. So a skin for that would be useful, or if Valve don't want to let skins be in the game, give me an option to get rid of signs, please. That might just be a me thing, being a content creator and being scared of what anybody has on a sign because I don't really look at them. And all of a sudden, there could be somebody with something that can't be shown on YouTube or Twitch on a sign and I haven't noticed. I get banned and basically lose my job at that point. Now, apparently there were also a few skins that just allowed people to basically be cheating. Apparently some walls you could make see-through with skins. I didn't know that. And apparently you can make models of characters a little bit bigger to basically see when they were turning corners before they actually started turning the corner, which is fully just exploiting the game and pretty much cheating. So if you're playing against that person completely normally, you'd have no clue what was going on and you would feel like you were being cheated against, which really is an awful feeling, especially for newer players like we said. I miss the normal skins, but if it means that you can't have skins that are basically exploits, I'm all for never putting them back into the game properly again. I do think certain options where skins are made just to better the experience of playing the game, like the signs, could be worked into the real game somehow, but you know what, it's fine. So I want to know what you guys think about this whole thing. Do you like custom skins? Do you use any? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on the whole thing. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you leave this video a like and also subscribe to the channel down below if you are new. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, that is going to do it for today. I'll be back with another video tomorrow. Goodbye.